Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about advertising spend and why it's so important. So, if you look at statistics from 2021, I'm just focusing purely on the mobile device market. Samsung was the number one manufacturer for number of devices sold, and they sold 271 million units in 2021. Apple came in at second place with 238 million units sold. Xiaomi, even though they're not being sold in the US, came in third with 168 million units sold. And then, the list goes on, Motorola and so on, which are probably, 40 million units or 50 million units. Now, why is this important? If you look at, just the top two guys, Samsung on average spends about $10 billion a year on their mobile advertising. Well, not mobile advertising, advertising for their mobile products. And Apple spends, at least from the reports that I've seen, spends about 179% of what Samsung spends. So conservatively about $18 billion a year. Now, the whole idea is, Samsung is spending about $10 billion a year to sell 271 million units. And if we keep an average cost of the phones that they sell at about $200, that gives you a revenue of about $54 billion a year as a result of all the marketing spend that they do. And to understand why Apple is the most valuable company in the world, let's take 238 million units. Interestingly enough, I think the average the average selling price of the Apple devices, at least for Q4 in 2021, was more than $1,000. But then, if we keep it, keep an average of, let's say, $900 for the entire year, that is $214 billion that they have generated in revenue from the sales of their iPhone 12, 13, whatever, all their products, which is an insane multiplier on how much they're actually spending for their marketing, right? So if I take Apple's revenue generated against the marketing spend, let's see, 18 billion. So that's almost a 12 to 1 multiplier for Apple, as against, let's say, 60 billion conservatively against 10, against a 6 to 1 multiplier for Samsung. Of course, Samsung does have a wider variety of products that they can sell from multiple, price ranges, while Apple doesn't. But this should give you a very, fair idea of, why they spend so much. I mean, a 6 to 1 multiplier or a 12 to 1 multiplier is nothing to, scoff at. And now that, people seem to be spending a little bit more on their mobile devices compared to, pre-COVID days, this number is just phenomenal. And this also ties into, now why everybody's scrambling, so much to find replacements for the chip shortage that's there, because there's a lot of money at stake. And I'm not even, bringing up all the different companies and all the different devices that require all integrated circuits. It's not just the mobile device market. It's basically anything and any electronic item, right? It could be cars, washing machines, TVs, mobile phones, you name it. So there's huge money at stake. But then it's always good to know the kind of money that is actually being spent, and all the marketing gimmicks that you see, having launches at the Burj Khalifa, taking over terminals at major international airports. I don't know how many of you actually saw Samsung took over, one of the terminals at Heathrow and just plastered it, when the Note was coming out. Apple with all its glitzy storefronts, in choice locations across the world. All this basically is just a marketing tactic, and it's just meant to increase the bottom line. So next time you're about to fork out your money, understand that at some point, some ad or some blog or some vlog or, some influencer or somebody just basically, convinced you to part with your hard earned cash just so that the bottom line of these companies just increases by, whatever multiplication factor. So keep that in mind, and we'll talk to you in the next one.